Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I have another Nissan Titan 2010 Nissan Titan ECM coming from Oregon. Armando, this is your computer. Let's do as I normally do, show you the computer connected, the concerns of the reproducing the concerns, and then after where I fix this. I have a lot of videos on specifically on this Nissan, but I show most of the repairs internal and everything. So I don't usually repeat that because I don't really also show the entire process because obvious reasons. I'm not here to teach other companies to do what I do, but I do show most of the main tests that I do to duplicate and also to find the issue in the board, right? So that is what I normally do. All right, so here the computer is connected. This is Nissan original computer. Part number is an Hitachi. Let me just see. It's a MEC75-090, which matches exactly the vehicle. I have created a folder specifically for this customer and for all the customers as well. The notes, let me just show you. This is again a computer, and the part number that I was referring to is right here, right? So yes, you can see that very well. Let me just show you the note. Very straightforward from the tech. I like that. Vehicle BIN, I always just go by the last digits, is letter AN32. I don't know if that is it. It looks like a 322498, and we'll see when we connect the computer. It says the tech found that the scan tool cannot communicate to the vehicle's computer. Tech tested the firmware reference that the computer should have. It read at 1.6 volts, which is considered faulty. That is completely correct. This vehicle will need a new PCM to start. Then it's also currently no injection pulse or spark. Well, that is definitely, if you don't have firmware reference and no communication, that is definitely a computer that is not talking, and that would not start. All right, so let's do the test. So let me bring you here. Yep, I'm going to put the scanner, and I have a multimeter connected to the firmware reference and sensor ground on the computer. Computer is not powered on, so let me power my bench test. I need to adjust the amperage. I usually go around 1 amp to make sure I'm not going to, if it's shorted, create a major damage. So with 1 amp, it's not going to be that much, and it will limit the amperage to that. But yeah, let's power on. So I got battery now. As you can see, the switches in there, and then I need to put the two extra switches for the Nissan. So 1, 2. All right, so we can immediately see the issue. The technician was referring about a 1.9. In this case, I have 1.9, and probably because I don't have nothing else connected, right? So that could even go lower, or after being connected in the vehicle for a while, it might go down. I don't really suspect that we have any communication in here. No firmware reference for sensors. That is definitely a main problem in this module. So let me let me go over to Diagnostics. All right, you can see that. And this computer is a CON bus. It's a 2010, so the communication should be very quick. I'm going to do an auto scan, and that should read the VIN number of the vehicle. So let's see if we have already reproduced one of the exact notes on the technician, and now see if we can reproduce the other one. And guys, this is exactly what I need when you're sending a computer. A lot of customers send computers that, yeah, my car is running rough. That is not a diagnostic. That is a symptom. So I need a technician, a shop that can tell you why the vehicle is running rough or is running. Let's say, the fuel trims are really low, O2 sensors are not reporting properly, etc. So that's a diagnostic, not just a symptom, because otherwise how I'm going to reproduce that here is impossible, right? Okay, we can immediately, no communication. So this is definitely reproducing the customer concern. Let me open the computer now and do the repairs. I'm doing these short tests because I want to make sure that the customer feels comfortable when the computer gets back to him. I have repaired, I don't know, maybe 1,000 of these in this computer, 100% success rate. So I know exactly what I'm doing here, but I want to show that to the customers. That gives transparency. It makes everybody trust, including yourself, that watching the video here, right? Well, how many companies do this? None, right? So this is where I separate my business to others. So, all right, let me do the repairs, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I have completed the repairs. As you can see, the computer is actually still open. I want to show that this is the cover. And please don't open these computers unless you're willing to immediately repair it yourself. And the reason I'm saying that is, and people sometimes don't understand this, these are hard to open and you can damage because the board is really close to the edge. So if you're not trained to do this and you start to poke with the screwdrivers and try to remove that the wrong way, then you can destroy the small lines around the computer, the cell board, that are pretty hard for me to find and or see, because if you just, if you make a hole, it will be pretty obvious. But if you just lift it and crack it, and the silicone is there, unless I have an X-ray machine, it will be impossible to see. And that's why I usually don't take computers that were previously opened by someone else. And if I do, I make the customer sign, a non-liability, let's say, call it like that, where he immediately agrees that if something like that is damaged, I'm not liable. I don't have to repair his computer. Why? Because I can do the normal repairs and everything. And I do check, operation and so, but and everything. But temperature, vibrations, it's pretty much impossible to 100% reproduce in here. So if that later opens up because of a temperature and vibration, and I might not be able to find it, it's not my fault because it was previously open. I just want to say and put that out there. All right, let's do the test. All right, so let me put the Phoenix and the meter back in the screen, and I need to get the scanner in my hand. The computer is not powered up, so let me power up the power supply, which was off. You can see the 3 switches in here are off now. And we got no fiber reference, so nothing is powered up. I'm waiting for the BCI to turn on. I'm using the top-down Phoenix Max amazing tool. I'm very, very happy with this tool. I'm going to skip this view because we're going to have to revisit that. So I'm going to go into the auto scan. All right, so we're good to go. So let me power this up. All right, we got an immediate big difference. We got fiber reference. So this is already telling me we're in a good path. Let's do the auto scan and see if this works. What is the big number for him? I can get it from the folder. I like that sound. AN329498. Okay, AN. It says it's actually 322. So I couldn't read the numbers right. It's 322498. So I got that wrong from my notes because he got it by hand. So it was a little hard to read. So it's 322 AN322498. Okay, I corrected that in my folder, but all right, guys, this is enough. I'm going to perform the rest of the tests behind the scenes because, again, there's so many companies, so many people that are trying to copy what I do, and believe me, I don't want that because this is the support of my family, and I support my family, not just my immediate family with this, so it's very important income. Thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate it. It's being overwhelmed to support it, and I feel so happy. I'm feeling blessed. Thank you all so much for trusting my Salazar Diagnostics. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.